we go.
Yeah.
That was the second fastest I've ever done it. So welcome everybody. My name is Margaret Pinard. I'm a historical fiction and fantasy author, and we're here for another Fireside Chat, day 29. I'm here with a lovely creative guest, a booktuber, and if I remove this, y'all can see books, Gurrs, and Purrs. This is Leslie. Say hi, Leslie.
Hello.
Welcome. So I am here as a sort of foot in two worlds, a booktuber and an author-tuber. So I've had both authors as guests and booktubers as guests. And booktubers have had some interesting, surprising things that they want to do when they have creative exercises. So what are we going to do tonight, Leslie?
We are going to be sprinting.
Reading for our sprint.
Yeah.
And actually, for the first time this month in the history of Fireside Chats, I actually have an assignment that I haven't done yet today, and so I'm going to do something different. The first one, I'm going to complete that assignment, which is a journaling prompt to create a deck of cards that I'm doing with someone for the 100 days, actually. So I don't want to miss out on that. And then the second sprint, I'll do reading as well. We vote on what we're going to read. Do you have your reading choices picked already, or do you like to offer it up to? Oh, okay. I'm going to. So tell us a bit about your channel, and then we'll dive into our reading choices. So please, when did you start, and what do you feature on your channel?
I just started about a year ago, and like many people, when the pandemic happened, I was just trying not to lose my mind. And I spent way too much time watching YouTube that I never really watched YouTube before, any type of segments or community. And that's how I kind of stumbled upon Booktube. And, I just got the little feeling inside that maybe I could do this too.
Hey.
And I enjoy the community. It's really nice just to chat about books. Everybody's really lovely. And I work from home now permanently. So just also to hold on to my sanity. And it's just really nice to talk to other people about books. I usually focus on nonfiction. I also read fiction, but it's kind of across all genres. I'm not really into romance. I'm trying to get into it. It's just not really my thing. I don't know. But I enjoy historical fiction, science fiction. And so, that's kind of where I'm at on my YouTube channel for now. And I'm focusing on nonfiction and fiction this past month, and I'm completely behind. So I'm reading Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Decolonizing the Mind. He's really big in South Africa.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he wrote a play during apartheid and was imprisoned for that play with no trial during that time. And so I want to tackle reading all his work. So I have like 3 books I'm completely behind. So this is what I'll be focusing on today.
So that is a classic, right? That is not a living author then?
Oh, he's still alive. Yeah.
He's still alive. Okay, but he wrote something that's probably like a classic for that country. So that's really cool. And just in case you don't know, you're not yet subscribed to Books, Gurrs, and Purrs, Leslie tends to do like focus on an author for a month and read 1, 2, 3 books of theirs, so she can like compare across their full oeuvre, which is a novel approach and something that I haven't seen anyone else do. So it's actually really cool. I can't make myself read books. I'm more of a mood reader than that. So that's like dedication that I admire. But yeah, if you've got questions for my new booktuber guest, pop it in the chat. I'm going to say hello to our friends in the chat. Deidre was here early. She's a author-tuber romance writer friend. Here to show love to the like button. Much appreciated. Support all the lovely people on screen. RC Scott was here to say hello and smash the like button and leave hearts drifting on the breeze as he likes to do. Felicia was here to say hi. For once, she was beat to the punch by a couple of other folks who were here first, but I love it. Cat's Novel Adventures was here early for a change, she says. And I put this in. I don't know if that's going to communicate non-verbally, so I'll say boop, boop, be-doo. Like, I don't know. The Betty Boop kind of theme song, in case that didn't make sense to anyone else. Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
So I pointed out that Leslie is on
Yeah.
Instagram and she's gonna say her favorite word, and there was a nod to it in the stories, so just called that out. I said that I'm having tea, so in case anyone wanted to weigh in. Anita is here. Hello, my friend. And Cat's drinking water. Good in a hot area. Definitely healthy. Leslie's in the chat. Love it. Cool Gamer here to say hello. And Kat saying, I'm watching your summer book chat, Leslie, before we started. So nice. Is that the June and July wrap up or something different?
Yeah, thank you. That one is like an agent of chaos because I'm so behind. So if you think I make any sense, thank you.
We have Ellen here from Big Hard Books and Classics. Oh, I'm going to get called out in the flavor of my tea. So I've been cutting back on my tea because, like, for the first time in my life, I've been told I have to have fillings or cavities. So they said that one of the things that might be a culprit is that I have tea like throughout the day, and so there's no points in the day when my teeth get a rest from like sugar. So I went, okay, but I have upped the tea just for comfort because it's nice and cool today. So this is reused tea. I do like a tea bag and a tea bag, and then those two I put in to like reuse them once. All the Brits are going to be horrified. Okay, I go through tea like nobody's business, so that's one of the ways I can serve. Spotlight on an author. Yep, that's how she arranges it. It's pretty cool. Decaf yogi. Nope. Oh, and Kat says, I love chaos. It's adventurous and interesting. Yes, another vote for chaos. We like it. I like it. Okay, so reading choices. Let's jump back to that. What are you going to be reading tonight? You said the play. Is that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this particular book, Decolonizing the Mind, actually is just focusing on the language, the politics of language in African literature.
So nonfiction.
It's pretty thin, so I should have been done. But what else? There's two other books that I'm going to be reading, not today, but there's The River Between, and also A Grain of Wheat. And both of them just talk about the effects of colonialism in specifically Kenya and how it was dealt with, I believe, during apartheid. So, yeah, I definitely want to tackle those, but I figured just for today, Decolonizing the Mind would be kind of like
nonfiction then, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to be doing my prompt, which is I feel powerful when, so we'll see. And then I'll have people vote for the second section. Which should I read? I'm reading Disoriental by Nagar Javadi for Wit Month, the very tail end of Women in Translation Month. I probably won't finish it, but I might. It's good. It's just all over the place, so it's hard to track. And then this is another one I picked up. Kate Atkinson, Started Early, Took My Dog, which I am further through and may well finish tonight if I keep going. I don't know. My first Kate Atkinson. So let us know in the chat. I'll put a little poll up for the message. No, I guess I'll put a poll up so that it doesn't distract from the timer. So we're gonna jump in just a second. All right. So I asked who started. I asked about what you like to read. You've been very, very helpful this month with all the fireside chats, so I super appreciate that. What do you usually feature on Instagram when I'm not here to like poke you and say, please, help?
It's isolated mostly on my Instagram. The posts are all just books, and my stories varies. Basically, it's just my interests. For instance, because of what you're doing all month, I'm just sharing on stories. But also podcasts that I listen to that are really just not bookish focused. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm into.
Oh. Wait. Wait. Did I get it in there? Sorry, I'm trying to do a poll and it's wrestling with me.
Oh, that's okay. So I'll just randomly mention some podcasts while you're doing that.
Okay.
There's one by Nicole Byer. She's a comedian. Actually, I really love comedians.
Oh, nice. That's a great thing to find on YouTube as well. Yeah.
They've really like been a lifeline during the pandemic. I was like, I need to laugh.
Yeah.
24/7. So Nicole Byer has a podcast called Why Won't You Date Me? Where she just will have someone on but talk about her terrible dates.
Uh-huh.
That's essentially it. I think she's given up on trying to figure out the why.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of fun.
What about Sarah Millican? Have you found her on YouTube?
No, I don't think I have. I'm going to check her out.
Yes, definitely check her out. She's hilarious.
I'm going to write that down.
I'm going to get the timer ready for our first round here. There we go. So 13, 15, 28. We'll get our crackling fire ready. I loved how you embraced the s'mores theme. So, like, I would love s'mores right now. Although, I was... Oh, let me pause this for a second because we have 30 seconds more to start. I saw someone on TikTok who found a lantern. So I know there's a festival where people put like lanterns with paper around it and lift it up into the sky. And it's pretty because it's like from Tangled. But don't do that if you're in a fire-prone area in the end of frickin' August. That's irresponsible and borderline criminal. So, you know, don't do it.
That's just as bad as like the gender reveals where they did like something off.
Exactly.
Don't
do it. Yes. Alan is asking, is Kate Atkinson the Life After Life author? And the answer is yes. I think Started Early Took My Dog is a much earlier work, but I've definitely heard Life After Life is good. So, all right, let's jump into our first sprint of reading. And I'll be journaling, but I'll mute myself in case there's other noise, so you can just hear the fire. Okay, see you in 15. She's back. Oh, we just beat the timer. Okay. Welcome back. Let me set the timer banner here. Okay. How'd you do?
There's an introduction. So I got through the acknowledgments and
you're just starting.
And the preface. Yeah. So I'm barely at the beginning, and then the intro, and I'm still reading the intro.
Okay.
It's still good. I'm glad I'm reading it, but because it's nonfiction and what the author's tackling, I'm really trying to pay attention.
Is it compelling with all the pre-stuff?
Yeah. And I also think just what I know about the author thus far also makes it an interesting read, just how passionate he is about talking about the Western impact on South Africa and the effects of colonialism. And
is he from South Africa or Kenya?
You know what? I can't remember. I don't have that info. I think he's from Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah. And I lost my train of thought. Yes, that. But I think he just talks about how certain issues when like nationhood and some of the conflicts of the whole idea of divide and conquer, and how there's this circular motion, and then if we don't pay attention to the language and what the other issues are underneath, that cycle's not really going to get broken. I don't know if I'm barely started, but so far it's interesting.
Yeah. Sounds good.
How about you?
So I finished my prompt, which means that I don't have to go for the full page, but this time I did. So the point is to make your own card deck to kind of like a tarot card deck, you would consult if you're feeling unsure or want some guidance from yourself when you've been reflective. So I'm not much of an artist. I put a little daisy chain at the bottom for what I was thinking. I don't know how to make a daisy chain, but I can draw one sort of. So I got that done, and then I looked at the poll, and it was 100% for Kate Atkinson. So I read a page and a half in the 2 minutes I had left. I was 130 pages into this before I got interested. So yeah. Let's see what we had in the comments. Alan said no Chinese flying lanterns. Kat's power went out, so I said I hope she's safe, because sometimes that can create unsafe situations with the power grid. And she said, thank goodness I have a book to read. And she's like, there's no telling, it was raining earlier. Are you doing okay with your sound?
I'll be 1 second. Keep going. I have to grab my other headphones.
Okay. So yeah, this was a comment on the 100% poll. Yeah, I'm starting to get an inkling about this book. Started early, took my dog, but there's just it just feels very sordid to me. And it is a crime novel, but there's all this stuff from the 70s that comes in, even though it was written in 2010 or 2011, and it's throwing around a lot of racist things and sexist things, and it's just not fun to read. But okay, Shannon was here. Hit the like button. Hey, Shannon. She's still reading smutty smut sci-fi romance, Alien Captive. Haven't had much time to read, and so by the time I do, I'm in bed and get 1 page done. You sound like my sister again, who's also a 5. So Shannon and I were both in Estelle Van de Velde's productivity sprint earlier in the day, and she was preparing for a meeting, so I hope the meeting went well. And then Kat said, I'm reading Song of Achilles, hoping to finish it tonight. Loving it. Yay! So that is, I'm going to guess, not a Garb August read. It must be for a different readathon. I'm sure you've got it all planned out. I've heard great things about it. I have it on my shelf. I have not read it yet. So, yeah.
I hear good things about it.
I know. A lot of people said it's life-changing, so excellent, that I just haven't been following. Okay, so reminder for everybody. we have a secret giveaway. It's getting very close. It's the 29th, and the last day of the month is the 31st. The way you can enter the giveaway, which some of you have done and some of you have not, is that when this stream is over, leave a comment down below. So that's different from the chat. Comment down below. And mention the person's favorite word, the guest's word or my word. So Leslie, what's your favorite word? And we're being lenient and giving you a phrase. So what's your phrase?
Thank you for letting me cheat a little bit. My phrase is sonic jambalaya, and it's pulled from a book that my wishful thinking, manifesting future husband, I have a crush on this author, wrote. He wrote A Little Devil in America, where he focuses on praise of Black performance, mostly focused in America. So, and in the book, he talks about the late Bernie Mac, who was a comedian, and talks about not necessarily like a specific words or the language that he used, but how he uses it to tell story and make the audience laugh. Mm-hmm. And I just love that phrasing so much. It's something that he actually does really well throughout his books, is the way that he phrases and describes.
So what's the name of the author?
Your future. Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. I don't want anybody to know. I don't want to put it out there. It's Hanif Abdurraqib. I don't know if you ever, he has like
I think I've seen it, but it's not like books. It doesn't roll off my tongue because I'm not that familiar. So yeah.
Yeah. All of his books basically lead up to this in a way where they're talking about performance. He's a music critic and a social critic. And in each of his books, he injects himself when he's talking about his experiences. And so Sonic Jambalaya.
Nice. So Google tells me he's classified, because Google is all-knowing, as an American poet. I'll just put that in the chat for everybody so they can look it up later. But yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, his poetry is really accessible, especially for someone like me that's not well-versed. Poetry can be very intimidating. Yeah. And he's one of those authors that makes you feel invited rather than intimidated.
Nice. Kat is saying it's for the FOMO book club. It will also count for Square on the summer book bingo. See, she's got it all organized. Double dipping. Yeah. Overwhelmed or intimidated by poetry. You know, I had an announcement video about a week ago for Scottember. So I freed up the schedule and now I'm running a readathon. But it's like a low-key readathon. There's nothing that you need to do. It's just read a book with something about Scotland in it. Author can be from there. It can be set there. It can have something to do with Scotland as a country. Anything. Fiction, nonfiction, whatever. And Camilla at Hasty Books was one of my sources for Scottish books, of course. She lives there. She's from Argentina, I believe. And she just put up a video with a whole bunch of new recommendations for the readathon, which is great. But whoops, sorry, I just hit the keyboard. She had a whole category of poetry, and I was looking at those going, like, how lost am I going to be in Scottish poetry when I can't even understand like American poetry?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get the intimidating feeling. I know several poets, but I feel like I can relate to them a bit better and their work a bit better than like someone who's super critically acclaimed, But yeah, good point.
Yeah. So I had a question.
Oh, yeah.
As a reader.
Yes.
Go ahead, you go first. Okay, you go first.
Yeah, I have a new word for tonight. Kat will be happy to know. It's just fun. That's one that's fun to say. Insalubrious. Insalubrious. And points if you can use it in a sentence. Extra credit, bonus points, because I'm a wannabe teacher. Okay, so go ahead with your question.
I was going to say I have never heard of that word, insalubrious. So good to know. It
means unclean. Yeah.
Oh. Very fancy. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to back up a little bit and then I'll ask a question just so that I'm clear. It's a question as a reader to a writer.
Sure.
So I read a trilogy. It's called Lilith's Brood or Xenogenesis by Octavia E. Butler.
Mm-hmm.
And in this book, Earth has been like rehabilitated. It's going to be re-inhabited with help of aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's humanity's only chance. So what stood out for me the most was I felt like the author was saying humanity is prone to violence, and eventually we're just gonna destroy ourselves again. So humanity really has to be willing to evolve and change in order to survive.
Mm.
But on the flip side of that, the conflict that she brings with these aliens that are supposed to help humanity's survival.
What's the trade-off?
The trade-off is humans have to breed with the aliens in order for humanity to continue, because humanity cannot continue the way that it has been.
Hmm.
But what I was having a hard time understanding was, which will lead me to my question, is that with all the different conflicts that humans have with the aliens, a lot of it to me adds up to like colonialism. They're supposed to help the humans, but instead I think they're actually just reinforcing colonialism in a way.
Huh.
And that was something that I felt like was more subtle. It was like after reading 3 books, then I picked up on it. And I've reviewed other people's review of the book, and I only found like one other like Booktube channel talking about this. And what I'm trying to get at is, you as a writer, how do you walk that line between like what you show versus what you tell? Does that make any sense? Because she's showing, she does a lot of showing through actions. She doesn't have the humans quite say like, she just want to spoon feed the reader.
Yeah.
And say like, that's colonialism.
Right,
you know?
right. Like, how subtle do you decide to be? Is that kind of what you're
getting?
Yeah. It's hard. So like I've had I can't remember where it was recently, but somewhere I was having a conversation with people where we were talking about, do you start with a message that you try to figure out a plot to bring that to the surface and thereby make it kind of a subtle point? Or do you start with a plot and then like whatever is bubbling up in your actions and characters sort of leads you to its own message, and then it's even more subtle? Like, and I think previously I've done both models, right? So in my first book, I think it was definitely, I'm going to write a plot and I'm going to find out some interesting characters and we're going to make it a whodunit and like see what happens. And then my value system was sort of laid bare by what happens to the people and like who wins in the end. So not very subtle, definitely plays to tropes and expectations. And then as I kept writing, the second book was more about, I want to highlight the different cultural groups facing off and who came off well in the exchange and who maybe got forgotten and that sort of thing. And I'm not sure if it accomplished that. And then like later on with the historical fiction series, it was more about forgotten voices, unsung history, and I think it's fairly obvious what my message is, but I still find people who don't connect the dots. So I wonder, like, well, where's the middle of your audience? You know, like the most amount of people play to them, maybe. Like if you're a band and you're playing your instrument, do you face this way or right in the center? And I think that's kind of what you have to do, and you'll lose some people because they don't even see it, and you'll annoy some people because it's so obvious. But where you are in that audience is it depends on the reader. So yeah, I guess I try to play to the middle. To sing to the back is what they always say, but play to the middle, I guess, for subtlety. I don't know if that's a satisfying answer.
No, it's just, not necessarily that I need one particular answer. I was just curious because after I read that particular work, it was really bothering me. I was like racking my mind. I felt like that was a rare case where I felt like, do I want to be spoon fed? Because I'm not adding it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was just like a curiosity for me, on top of something that I think you already just touched upon. But like when a writer wants to explore morality, how do you know whether or not you want to, let's say, it's kind of two dimensional, but punish or leave open or reward like the villain?
Right.
Like how much do you want to leave up to greater discussion, you know?
Well, that leads to the question of, how do you play your endings? Do you want people to walk away satisfied? Does your genre have an expectation of a certain kind of ending that you need to adhere to in order to please your readers? Or do you like migrate to the literary genre where anything goes in terms of endings, and you can have it more open-ended so that people ask themselves those questions rather than just react to a fait accompli, like whatever your ending is that is very decided. In the short stories that I've done recently, which are down in the description, I think I end with, so those are sci-fi and they're a departure. Like I have done historical fantasy, but like sci-fi or speculative fiction is a departure for me. So in those short stories, I definitely got to play around and experiment. And the endings on those, trying to think of the first one. Yeah, the first one's more open-ended. So Half Human Heroes, it's more open-ended. I tell you morally like what happens with the character and the world, but you are left to figure out, is that in accordance with my view of the current world? It's sort of like interesting. And then the second one, I tell you what happens, but then you have to go back and figure out like, well, is that a deserved ending for humanity? Like, I don't know. Are you on the same page as me? So yeah, I'm for the experimentation. It's really encouraged me to be more in conversation with the reader rather than like, ta-da, and here's the, morally right ending. So yeah, that's my take. But people in the comments,
the brain of a writer.
Yeah, I don't know. Did that make sense? Did that?
No, yeah, it totally made sense. Yeah. It's really just the effect that you want to get. But yeah, thank you for answering that.
Yeah, of course. That's a great question. I like talking about like expectations and satisfying them, and like where do you position yourself. It's a very interesting discussion. Yeah. So Sonic Jambalaya. We've got a meta discussion over here, and then we've got Insalubrious, which is purely fun to say. So there we go. Are we ready for another round of reading?
Yes.
Read ourselves? Okay, so let me pop up our Homer banner with 47:57:02. Oh, it's the first time we're going to go over with our round of sprinting. All good. All right. Put up our crackling fire and away we go. I could do this. There we go. Okay, I'll be on mute and see you in 15 minutes. See, I got involved again, and I even forgot to hit go on the fireplace. Sorry, everyone. I know you're so disappointed.
It's hot enough over here, so it's fine.
True. Yeah, I got involved. There was actually a really funny part in my book. A joke. Yeah, anyway, a dirty joke. How did your reading go? Did you get past the introduction?
I'm still here, but I'm also taking notes along the way. I'm fine with that. He's just I could see why he's such a beloved author.
Nice. All right, readers out there, what about you? What have you been reading? So Kat said last time, I'm challenging her with using insalubrious in a sentence. Do you want to refresh everyone's memory as to what your favorite word is for the secret giveaway?
Sonic jambalaya.
Kat should love that one, the jambalaya. All right, well, I've got a couple announcements to get out to everyone. Tomorrow's guest is Victoria Talks Writing. She's an AuthorTube channel, and I think hasn't posted in a bit, but that could be just me because there's so many that sort of fly under the radar. But if you want to be back tomorrow to meet her, that'd be lovely. 5 p.m. Pacific, as usual. After that, it's the last day of the month, which means we'll be doing the giveaway, the drawing somehow. I will be taking all the entries, putting them on a spreadsheet, probably pressing something that chooses a number, and then announcing who the winner is, and they'll get like a little bookish mail package from me. Whether that is an envelope or a box depends on if you're in the US or international, because, budget reasons. And for that stream, I will have people from A Mighty Blaze on. So that is an organization that I volunteer with. And they're all writers, authors, lovely people. Co-founders are big deal. Carolyn Levitt and Jenna Blum. And they will be we will not be doing silent reading like this. We'll be doing some pretty rowdy laughing at each other, I'm sure, because they have some big personalities and love to gab. So join us for that. And then on Friday, when we switch over to September and Fireside Chats are a distant memory. Just kidding. We'll be doing a premiere of an original song. Martha Jones, one of my early Fireside Chat guests, has the lovely talent of taking crowdsourced words that seem very unlikely to pair together and making a song of them. So she has done this with everyone's favorite words, or almost everyone's, and is going to premiere the song on my channel live, which is just too fun. So yeah, that'll be us on Friday, and we'll just chat about other stuff in general. So join us. But yeah, anything else going on for you in the near future that you want to let people know about, like to tune into, Leslie? Or
oh gosh, okay, so I'm catching up on this particular author, and then what's supposed to be my September reads, but it'll probably be towards the end of September.
Okay.
Reading the Broken Earth trilogy by A. Jemison.
Yes.
I've watched plenty of your interviews, but I haven't read that yet.
Nice.
But yeah, that's all I got going.
Very cool. So are you going to have an August wrap up?
I'm going to have August, September wrap up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. As I'm headed towards the end, it's getting real tight on time. And I told myself this year I would actually stick maybe to 2 books a month. But okay. I get carried away and think I can handle more than I can. And
we get some grandiose plans. I am familiar. I can relate for sure.
Yeah, if you're asking how do you feel about this whole month now that you're at the end of just like the stamina.
4 days, yeah. It started off with like some great like stats and the energy felt like I was being rewarded, and then it just sort of like vanished into the algorithm, and I was like, okay, that's fine. We're back to like normal levels of everything. So I don't know. Like I told you the other day, I feel like I'm on a fixie, like a 1-gear bike going uphill, going, I don't have any more gas. Like I don't know what else to do to like get out there more. So if you didn't know, the reason for me to think of this specific format was I was trying to figure out how to reach new audiences through Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and TikTok, so I could get more subscribers and hopefully cross that 1,000 subscriber mark, as well as 3,000 watch hours, which is what you need to get monetized, because I feel like I've been pushing towards that, but like haven't like buckled down and tried to do things systematically. But this is also a format I really enjoy. I've sort of slacked off doing interviews, and this combines the interview with the sprint, so you sort of get stuff done as well as meeting new people and introducing them to your audience. So I was like, okay, best of both worlds. So I will actually be going forward with Fireside Chats in the future, but not every weekday like this, just twice a month. That should be much less hectic. But yeah, but just considering other things that may be better for strategy wise. So we'll see. We'll see in the future. But yes, thank you, Leslie, for joining me tonight and reading together. And I don't know, I laughed during this, and it seems like you're excited about your author, and maybe we'll continue reading tonight. Thank you, everyone who is watching tonight, and I hope you got some reading done. And Kat, I hope you're not in the dark still. Everyone stay safe, take care, and happy reading.
Thank you.